Schmidt has 12 of their 19 wins. Barbashev against Shen. What an opening face-off duel that is. Shen wins it. Blues come in. We're underway. Blues trying to get back on the winning track. Avoid their first three-game losing streak in regulation since the end of October. Up to the near wing. It's Butchnevich over the line. Shen comes to the wing to pick it up. Gets it off of Butchnevich from the near corner. On the wing. Butchnevich affected. That's the way cleared out by Kolesar. Turtle goes to move it in and a thump in. As they go to center, it's knocked to the near side. Butchnevich had, I said Barbashev on that face. That was David, wasn't it? That was her.
The old 49 Blues uniform on your mind.
Here's Perico. Far wing down at Broberg. Takes a Blues bounce. They score!
Yes!
And listen to the Blues fans in this building tonight.
Sometimes you just need that bounce, right? Sometimes you need a little lady luck. We are in Vegas. Might as well bring the luck. Look at the smile for Robert Thomas. You're going to see it on the hard rim, and it just takes a very favorable bounce. Here's the rim from Broberg. Watch 18 right in the middle. Around, boink. It goes right off that stanchion. Look at the goaltender. He's looking to the left. Follow Robert Thomas. Hey, heads up play by Thomas. You know, he's waiting for the rim, but he's also ready. His stick goes down quickly, quick reflexes there. The smile says it all. What a great bounce. Less than 1 minute into this game.
The 11th of the year for Robert Thomas' 32nd point. Now his points in 3 of the last 4. And the Blues with an early lead in Vegas. Send it up. That's Barbashev. He'll get it out. Blues get it right back. Thomas gets the line. Neighbors moves it in. Broken up by Barbashev in front of the Vegas bench. He'll break into the St. Louis zone. Break wide near wing to Eichel. Chop that. Stone puts it down. And Barbashev has it. Goes through Eichel, and it's stopped behind the net by Bennington. Jordan Bennington, 4-1-1 as Broberg takes a hit. He took a big hit from Stone, and Philip Broberg is down on the ice. He tried to stand up and couldn't. And another hit by Stone, and Brayden Schenn right at the corner of the bench. Looking for the video, and then he'll be taking some numbers.
Well, it was a hit from Stone. Broberg's going to take it right here.
Oh, he swept his feet up from underneath him.
Yeah, a little bit of a slew foot right there.
With his knee joint.
And then he barely gets up. And then right as he gets to his feet, he got so wobbly where his knees just rebuckled. And he dropped down. Again, I think that we'll see another replay of it. It looked shoulder to shoulder to me, but then you saw the left leg of Stone. He kind of swoops underneath the low body. And boy, I mean, you can't ask for a worse start here for Broberg. He just signed a brand new 6-year extension with this team. And in his second shift of the game, he goes down hard. And it's great to see him on his own 2 feet walking out of here.
So Brayden Schenn comes over and he boards. Says something to the officials huddled up. When you look at that replay, Stone, and look at all the players in between the benches are now looking at the replay themselves.
Yeah, you know,
Stone goes in with the hit. He lifts his knee up and kind of picks Broberg up with it. And we've seen Stone with some cheap shot hits against the Blues in the past. If you remember the hit on Justin Falk.
Well, look at Steve Ott. He's certainly fired up right now. I mean, you go from a terrific start to get the goal by Thomas less than 1 minute in, and then less than a minute later, you're down one of your best defensemen. There's Stone right there. He's playing innocent.
He's talking to Schenn, Joe.
Let's take one more look at it. Watch that left leg of Stone. Right behind Broberg, and that's a kicking motion a little bit. He kicks him out underneath, and then his upper body kind of torques him down. I didn't like that hit. I do not like that hit. Brayden Schenn and Stone are still talking about it. There is no way we don't see anything after that. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Stone's going to have to answer for that hit. There's no question about it. I mean, that's one of your best defense, one of your best players on the team.
Knights into the Blues, Stone with a shot to deflect into the corner now. Early lead for the Blues. Thomas put it in from Philip Broberg. And Broberg with that hit from Stone. Joe, they just hit checks into the body as the icing puck. And go back to it real quick. If you just check the body, Broberg doesn't get his feet swept out from under him. And that's the issue that I think you're having.
Yeah, great check. To me, this is going to be a captain on captain spot. I think the captain's getting ready for it. Shoulder to shoulder, they have no problem. But as soon as that left leg, see that right there? He kind of kicks him up. That left knee kicks right underneath the right hamstring, Broberg, and that kind of takes him head over heels. You can see Stone, he knows he's probably going to have to answer for something. Clean or dirty, he just took out one of your best players. So keep an eye on his very next shift.
2-3 into the hockey game. Knights with a draw in the blue zone. But with a shot and right into the glove of Bennington.
Now it's interesting
Reinhardt right in front of it net.
there was no call on this play. I think live, that's a hard one for the referee to see. But, you saw the intention right there by Stone. You're fine shoulder to shoulder, but as soon as he drives that left thigh through the right hamstring, that's what kind of puts him over. Can't do that. It's not a good hit.
I saw one of my favorite tweets. Once the Canadian Olympic team was up. And you know how I love villains, Joe. I think sports needs villains, right? One of the tweets said after Bart Stone was named to Team Canada, he tweeted out there, does Stone know that that's right in the middle of his LTIR season? Here's Mitch Marner. Into the middle it goes. Far away. Behind the net, broken up by Tucker. Walker with points in back-to-back games coming into this one. Both games since returning from injury. He'll dump it in.
Keep an eye on Tyler Tucker there, too. He'd be a taker.
Knights from their own end. Launch it up to the line. Good break up there to slow him down. Now Stenberg chasing after it. Sissons on the forehand. Put it to the foot. It's loose. They shoot. And blocked to the corner now. Up to the line it comes. That's Hannafin. So Big Cloud with a launch. Got launched wide. Up to the near wing. I'm going to say it early. Then you watch what happens. But these are two of the least penalized teams in the NHL going head-to-head. Bergman trying to stick check his way onto White Cloud. Long pass coming up. Cole Reinhardt moving in. Marino checks him into the wall. And we're trying to pull the puck out of there is Coach Nemec. He's cross-checked down by Hurdle, and the puck then clipped out of the zone by the St. Louis Blues. That's a cross-check.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm still watching the benches stuff. You know, I didn't see it.
Puck goes in behind the net. Tipped around by Bennington to the near wall. Snuggerud, what a move to get it out. Reads a 3-on-2. Shen to Fowler to the middle, and it's just missed by Snuggerud.
And he tried to go to Shen on the back door, just whiffed.
He gets it back. Hard pass to Falk. And is there intent with Snuggerud's passes, isn't there?
Well, passing shot, he's found a new level. We talked to him before the game. He was playing Super Bowl. I just gave up to him and said, hey, why are you shooting more? I want to score. Good answer.
Hurdle to center. Polisar to the St. Louis zone. Shoots it up, Bennington. Tucker to the inboards. Bounced it to Falk. And Neighbors will break out for the lead.
Here we go.
Center ice. Stone and Shen again.
Oh, fight this for fighting.
Stone trying to answer. Shen with a second. A third. Comes with a fourth. Puts the switch. Still into his knees. Gets back up when the referees and the linesmen are in. 2 games in a row. The captain of the St. Louis Blues answers the bell. And he draws blood and rips the shirt of Mark Stone. There's your captain, folks.
I want to take this mic off. I want to go down and put on my equipment. I want to play for that guy. Right there, Jim Montgomery. You have to love it. The captain, Braden Shen. I mean, he just does it all. You know, Kurtz, he was at the end of his shift, too. You see how heavy he's breathing? He stepped on the ice. I kept an eye on him. He was about to get off. Then Stone comes on. Look at the right. Look at the right. There's another one right there. And man, he just took over. He rips the jersey. He draws blood, draws him down. There was a hit left behind Jimmy Snuggerud took. It was a borderline dirty one from Tanev. He fights Tanev. I talked to Brady this morning. I said, "Did you think the hit was dirty?" You know what he said? I don't care. I don't care if it was clean or dirty. It's not my the second game in a row. There's just not a lot of guys in the league like him. There's just not a lot left like him. This is why he's the heart and soul of this team.
And if you're any one of these young guys coming into your NHL career, your neighbors, your Torachenko still, you take note, don't you?
And honestly, if you're a young guy on the team like you just mentioned, I don't think it's over either. I think you keep coming at these guys hard. Still no Philip Rover on that.
Kyrou, far away. Deflected shot behind the net. The neighbors tried to find Kyrou in front. Neighbors back to Thomas, shooting it low, just wide. Whitecloud might have had a piece. Back along the wing, good stick by Kyrou to Fowler, and it is going to be whistled offside by the linesman. 5:02 into the first period. We've seen a goal. Stone got a new sweater there. Good, listen. I always do get critical when a player...
LG's gonna be cold against Vegas. Yeah.
That's the most concerning thing. At the same time, the flip side of that all is for Mark Stone to go out there and answer about what look at, and he's got a big old raspberry right over his right eye. Great, he's tackling hard. But the fact that he didn't answer the bell, that's old school hockey. Two veterans that understand the situation. Now you just hope Rover's okay.
Knights in. Eurovia. Good in center. And the Blues get it out. Berggren chips it back to the Vegas zone. Marner there to get it. They go to the right side. Dumped by Korzak here. Off the wall, Smith to Marner. Short side. It comes back to Bennington. That's a scouting report right there. He knows that sometimes the Knights will go behind the net and quickly reverse it back to that short side.
People think that goaltending is just stopping the puck. He is constantly surveying the ice. It's a scouting report. Mitch Marner, he's one of the best dishers on the team. He tries to beat the set to goal behind the net, goes against the grain. You see the eyes right there. See the eyes Bennington just moments ago. Just left, right. His constant twitches. Not only that, but it's worth noting too. The scouting report on the stanchions, the boards, you saw Schmidt earlier in the game, that one goal that was allowed, takes a funky bounce. That's one of the things these visiting goaltenders do. They come out morning skate, you get a feel for the glass, get a feel for the boards. How lively are they behind the net?
Knights at the far point, dump it down low. Too far for Eurovia. 16 goals on the season for him, and it's dumped in by Torachenko. He goes flying in. Finishing the check there. On to Kenny Korzak, and the Knights onto the puck behind their own net. 6 minutes gone, first period. Thomas from moreover again, Pareko. 55 seconds in, a rimmer on the glass. Hit one of the partitions, and bounce to Thomas for an open goal. Then Stone with a hit that injured Broberg. Knights in front, can't fire it to the goal. On the ensuing shift, when he was on the ice with Shen, we saw a fight, hand pass against the Knights. The whistle played dead. 13:36 to go. And it was a heck of a fight, Joe.
Yes, it was. It was a Torachenko fight that got him going last night. And now the captain throwing some heavy rights. Welcome you back to Las Vegas. Jim Montgomery said an hour before puck drop here tonight, he said, we're going to have success at the offensive end. We got to get to the net. We got to be willing to stop. We got to be willing to dig our heels in, look for the second, third, fourth opportunities, whatever it is. Get your body there, get pucks there. I know it's not as traditional as we've probably seen in most of the season, but get to the net, good things happen. Here's the dump on the yellow dasher. It's a goofy bounce, but I don't know what that hit. Robert Thomas does what the coach says, gets to the net, big smile on his face. He gets the scoring started here in Las Vegas.
Well, an offensive zone draw. Now here's Dalmore to Worski. No one thing yet on Philip Rover. Talked to Dustin Flynn yesterday. The concussion protocol that is automatic in some of those situations could take a certain amount of time depending on the scenario. How long does it take the doctor to get down there? How long does it take him to go through the test? When is he ready to begin the test? Things like that. Sometimes that might not even be the case in this situation as he hit that shoulder really hard.
Based on how he got up, I don't think this is probably a situation where he's waiting anxiously to get back on to the doctor to get down. This is probably more of he needs a couple minutes.
Knights into the head. Sissons on a potential break. Stopped by Bennington and off the skate
Well, how about Logan Mayu there on the backtrack? His speed forces him to go to the backhand, and that really limits the chance for Binnington to be aggressive.
Tucker out with Pareko now. Shot on, and Binnington with another save here. 12:43 to go in the first. 1-0 good guys.
Well, like I said off the hop, he's had some of his best games in this building. He loves the big show. This is the big show. Here it is. Bomarito Robocamp. The extension pass from the defensive end. And then you're going to see him off to the races, Colton Sisson, but the Mayu pressure from behind, that's what forces Sisson. See how he has to go to his backhand as Mayu takes him to the right side. That back pressure really limits Sisson to a backhand.
One-timer. Knights. Glove save. Binnington.
That glove's been active here. So loud and so boy, hardly taking a breath over the line.
Well, our Liberty Mutual crease coverage. Jordan Binnington has enjoyed playing here, but he's also had some big-time performances against Las Vegas. Look at the most saves he's made in a game in his career. 4 times on that list of 6 has it come against the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, like I said, Kearns, he's just a goaltender that when the temperature goes up, when the show gets big, he just shows up. You can't put an analytic to that. It's really hard to quantify what's inside someone, the gumption, the heart, the soul. But like I said, when the show is big and they need him in moments like this, because it is such a fun environment, he seems to always show up at the right time.
Icing against the Vegas Golden Knights here. 7 minutes, 28 seconds gone in the first period. Thomas is 11th of the year. Ties him with Falk on the active roster for most goals. Of course, you had Hugh Sutter right there, but he has an ankle sprain right now. Walker on the face-off. Clean win against Eichel. Tucker's clear. Not out. Tuck to the point. Rebound score. Binnington made the first save. Each team is now picked up this year. Bounce. We're tying 1-1. Mitch Marner's 10th of the year.
Well, it's a tough one to swallow because the Blues end up winning this face-off super clean. Nathan Walker snaps it back. He trades it off the glass first target. It's the second Ruby bounce of this period. If you believe in hockey gods, you'll look right to that bounce right there. There's the finish, the original save off the toe. Varner finishes and follows it up. Tyler Tucker cannot believe it.
Varner's 10th goal, his 45th point. Binnington again made the initial save. You know, I go back to that game in Colorado. This Kyrie's going to bring it in, shoot it on. Rebound to the slot. Thomas drops it on the backhand, and Schmidt's going to get there to cover it up. And then it's going to be Lazard coming in with a hard pop onto Jake Neighbors. Those two will go nose to nose, and Jake will shove Houghton out of the way, get right in the face, and shove him right back.
But I don't think this night's over. I think that you're going to see some spirited hockey. Ever since that hit on Grover, we always saw the one fight, but to me it's not enough. You've been in games like this, you feel the moment, you feel the temperature go up. As players like Jake Neighbors, they're going to have some good nights here.
Do you remember that game in Colorado where obviously Avalanche scored 4 really early? Binnington made the initial save on every single one of those goals.
You can't put that one on him right there. He's been so electric so early on. And Mitch Marner makes such a perfect little backhand forehand for him to kind of get that left toe out and make that save. Give him credit for following up with the rebound, but hands in the sharp earth.
You get the feeling, Joe, that from a team standpoint, y'all need an energy game like this?
You do. I mean, listen, it's been a tough road trip. I talked to Jimmy Snugger before the game, and this group is not happy with how the first 2 games have gone. They're looking to wrap this thing up on the right note.
Falk in a 1-1 game. Kyrou to Thomas. To the middle. Kyrou with a shot. He wants it wide. Holy cow. Comes back to Thomas. Into the middle. That's deflected off Mayu behind the goal. Neighbors chased by Lazar. Pass to Mayu at the point. Kyrou in the slot. Thomas a shot wide. Takes the puck and sends it to Riley Smith. And Neighbors runs into Marner in the puck to Kyrou.
Yeah, you see Neighbors on the back check there. He goes all the way to Marner, but he gets some skin. He puts his shoulder right through him.
Marner took it off the stick of Kyrou. Right into the slot. They go to the far wing. Gorzak right in behind the net. Smith. Oropia. Back to the blue line. Up to the front of the net. It hit off the skate. Bennington kicked it wide. Back to the line. Here's Ben Hutton.
So you go all the way back to that Kyrou turnover with the Red. They still have an offensive zone. Look out.
Kyrou tried to come across the Oropia, and now it's back to Riley. Morgan Riley off the wall. Unable to get it out. First chance, Stenberg, no good. Second one, which Neighbors does. Stenberg dumps it down into the corner, and Mike McGrath's swinging around. Knights off the near wing, met the stick of Perico. In towards the goal, off his skate, it goes wide. Colton centers. That's intercepted, out and recovers for Vegas. Button onto the puck with 10.5 to go in the first. Thomas 55 seconds in, Marner 7:34 in. Bennington from his knees sticks it to the far wing. Walker on it for the Blues, trying to battle off the wall. Tucker chips down one of the Knights. And then the outlet pass. Nice play, Dvorsky. They come through to Perico. Wrist shot on. Rebound. Bergman. Van trying to get it back to the middle. Second chance and a hard rim to the near wing. Dvorsky, the 20-year-old, along the wall. Sends it from Walker into the corner. Bergman sends it to the line. Dvorsky with a shot. Blocked. Dalibor extends the shift as he had started to go back for the change. Bergman on the cycle for St. Louis. Nice dump by Fowler into the corner. Off Dvorsky, comes to the line and out by Vegas. And Fowler going back to get it. Ball passes it along the near side as he's checked into. Ball to the ice, keeps it in. At the line. With help from Kyrou, it's played out by Eichel. Kyrou and Eichel will battle right in front of the Vegas bench. Thomas in to help out. Kyrou gets it in, stayed with it over the line, and the puck deflects down to the Vegas net. I know 3 to go, opening period. Jack Eichel helped the Knights win a cup. Put it down into the corner, and he comes back with it. Into the middle he goes. They run into Tucker, and Hutton still keeps it. Behind the goal to the far wing. Get down to Eichel as he tries to center that one through to Hutton on the near side. Couldn't fire a shot away, and then somehow got it down low. Bardashevsky to Marner. That's having to track some players when you're looking at Mitch Marner and Jack Eichel on the ice at the same time.
I tell you, Jack Eichel, he is just a special player. You can see the way when he gets the puck, it's hard not to just puck stare and just be mesmerized by what he can do, the way he slows the game down. Harley takes a stride the way he motors around the ice.
How do things change for the Buffalo Sabres? Have they decided to let Eichel get the procedure he wanted to win? Earl to Colasar, up to the line. Bring it over to Hanifin. He shoots it into traffic. Blocked by Sundqvist. Cleared to Toropchenko. Knights try to come right back in as Hurdle gets it right back to Colasar. There's Center Bridges in the center position for the Knights. Eichel, Marner, and Hurdle are your top 3. All of whom were number 1 centermen for another team in the NHL before coming to Vegas. They get the line, Sisson spun around, down low, broken up by Falk. Keeps on it. Out duels Riley Smith to clear the zone, and back to the Vegas end they go. Berggren forced it up ice. 3 quick passes for the Knights, and they go to the far side, and the puck cleared up by Gorzak back to the St. Louis line. Well, on the back end, Tucker, long pass off Berggren. Bounced into the Vegas zone, it's cleared back to center, Berggren there. Hands it to Thomas, he chips it in. Tries to go around 2 Knights, he's slowed down. Gorzak onto the puck, Thomas got him. Gorzak's going to try to keep the puck back to his defense, does, and out of the zone and close.
Yeah, great compete right there for Robert Thomas, just sticking all over him there on the forecheck.
6.5 to go, opening period, 1-1. injured on a questionable check from Stone. No penalty was given on the play. Stone and Shed fought on the next shift.
Hold on. Worth noting is that Mike Weber's really going to have to dig deep with this defensive group. While Einstein comes.
Upper body injury for Broberg will not return. Knights shoot it wide. The Blues with 5 defensemen for the vast majority of this game.
Remember, they played last night. You know, with travel, going to be nice in here. And, you know, you look at the game last night. I mean, that was, again, it was a battle. The Blues played hard. They dug deep. It was a spirited one. A couple fights. Jim Montgomery, his group certainly was all over it. And then you come, you fly to Vegas. It's a very quick turnaround. And you're hoping for one thing, to spread things. Make sure everyone gets even ice time if you can, because you know the lanes may not be there, especially in the third period. You're going to get away with it now because you're world-class athletes. But for Mike Weber's group and Jim Montgomery, the way they use their bench, especially on the defensive position, you can see Colton Parayko, you can see Justin Falk with upwards of 27, 28, even 29 minutes tonight for that goal.
Well, minutes were fairly balanced for the D last night. That's the good news. It'll be higher tonight without a doubt. Over to the far way. Fowler's going to put the pressure on to Hurdle as the Knights have it in the blue zone. 5:43 to go. Break was just over 21 minutes last night. Here's Hannafin trying to center. Like the puck broken out by Pavel Buchnevich. Justin Falk was at 19:23, and Cam Fowler rounding out your top 5 was at 23:10.
Well, it's worth noting, too, not just the veterans get eaten up. You know, Kirk, this is a big moment here for many players like Tyler Tucker, young guys who are going to step out of their comfort zone.
Dorofeev in. Far point they go. Shot on. Back to Walker City. Chipped up the wall. Middle of the ice they go. Denied by Falk. Puck cleared in a 1-1 game. Back to the Vegas end. Up to Marner now. Sets it up. Dorofeev. Riley Smith Shin took it away.
Yeah, great stick check there by Shin.
Here's Snuggerud. Took it over the line. Sends it down into the corner. Shed has a man open. Puck on pass to Parayko. Hit the stick of Ben Hutton and ends up out of the zone.
Yeah, you saw the defender kind of creeping on down there and Parayko. Shed just missing. That would have been a great one-timer for 55.
Walker sidestep was on. That's the way you jump out of the way if you're taking in the running of the Bulls and one of them gets loose. Jump the fence and get out of the way. Blues ice the puck. I need to pause real quick for this quick message.
With the right coverage from auto owners, when the unexpected happens, you know you're covered. That's simple human sense.
There's Oscar Sundquist. Of course, he scored a big goal there last night. Jim Montgomery, he's been turning in his fourth line. He started the game last night. Remember, after the Utah Mammoth scored that goal, he went right back with that fourth line. They answered quick and been playing some really good hockey here for Montgomery over this last week and a half stretch.
Face on one again by Walker. Another clearing attempt. This one blocked back in behind the net rather than in front of it. The Blues ice the puck.
Yeah. Look for an adjustment coming in the second period. Trying to look at the strong side. It's not looking this week.
Hello Kitty back here, right center on January 16th for Hello Kitty night. These ticket buyers get the bobble, a Hello Kitty bobble arm with a light on bow. Purchase an EME ticket, you get the Sherpa belt bag as well. Early access to activations. StLouisBlues.com/promotions.
Big face-off coming up here. You got the Blues fourth line tired up against this top line with Jack Eichel on the ice in the offensive zone.
Tons of Blues fans out here. You can hear them cheer when Robert Thomas scored 55 seconds in. Of course, all the Blues at the end of the national anthem. You know, the Knights are not the first hockey team to yell Knights during the national anthem. Pro team, that is. The Atlanta Knights used to do that when they were in the International Hockey League.
Flashback there for you.
I don't know what league that is. The IHL was the #1 developmental league before the AHL took that mantle over. Little arena were tied 1-1 late in the first. How about a look at tonight's FanDuel Live odds? Prop bet. These anytime goal scorers for you here. Plus scored 30 for Jimmy Snyderman. Plus scored 30 for Pavel Buchnevich. Mark Stone, who's on a 16-goal scoring streak, longest of his career. That's why he's at plus 140. In other words, the odds makers don't have as much faith in Snyderman and Buchnevich, so I like those kind of payouts.
That's understandable.
Get it?
You want to make some money, though. Well done.
I'm a sportsbook street. I enjoy parlays.
Yeah, you do. The last few years, especially coming through Vegas.
Blues win another face-off after a couple of games where face-offs have been tough and pretty solid here tonight. They get it over the line, but the Knights knock it away. 3:35 to go. We're in the first period. Out of the zone now, Barbashev, and Shen took it right off his stick. Left side to Fowler, out of the zone to Buchnevich. He's got the red line, brings it over the blue line to Mayu. There from. Lazan to get tangled up and fall. Jeremy Lazan broke into the NHL with Nashville. He is one tough customer back there. 3:05 to go here in the opening period. Fowler from the left side all the way up. Icing. So they'll bring the draw back to the St. Louis Blues end. You cannot shoot it all the way down the ice without somebody touching it. No, they call that icing.
Against the rules. You know, sometimes, though, you find yourself in a tough spot. You know, you're gonna have some bending moments here. Especially for Thomas, guys like Jake Neighbors there, especially with Eichel and their top six forwards out there. Never a bad play when you find yourself a little bit distressed, especially the second game back-to-back. Taking chances to get down there and get to ground.
Keegan Colasar jams it into the middle. And a save by Binnington. Long shot deflected down and wide. My goodness, what a deflection from Howden. They center. Colasar right on. Left hand save by Binnington. Then puck to the corner. Colasar on the handoff. Howden through to White Cloud. Into traffic, shot blocked by Kyrou. Now the Knights with a quick play up the wing. Boy, that's a planned scenario, isn't it? Now to Howden. I like that play. Send everybody to the bench but the one guy. Get behind the net. Tucker. Now Dvorsky. What a stick check to get Colasar, but he can't clear. Shot goes high off a deflection from Neighbors and out of play. 2:05 to go. We're here in the second period. Thomas and Marner, the goal scorers. Blues tied 1-1.
Las Vegas, it's been a first period of unpredictability. Look at that goofy bounce for Robert Thomas on the first shot of the game. He's going to tuck it away. By the way, that's the 8th time the Blues have scored on their first shot. That is an NHL lead. And then how about that bounce? Right there as Tyler Tucker goes to clear it. It goes right off of the goofy part of the board, bounces right to the middle. Mitch Marner, of course, is the benefactor of that one. Some games, doggone pucket's got a mind of its own.
Yeah, it's also the 10th time when he scored that goal as a night should have wide off the draw. 10th time that they've scored in the first minute of a period. That's the second most of any team in the league. The stats just continue to be a weird season all the way through so far as the Blues end up icing the puck. 1:48 to go in the first.
Yeah, they certainly can be. You know, it's been really a year of analytics and numbers. The wise guy once told me, though, Curve, the analytics, they're a lot like a bikini. They tell a lot, they show a lot, but not quite everything.
Nice. Hadn't heard that one. I don't want to have a beer with that guy. 1:48 to go in the first. If he's got that kind of analogy, he has more. That's why I want to meet him. Dorofeev in the blue zone. Moves it straight away. Marner dangles late in the first to the front of the net. Oh, save made. Big screen. Button. In behind the net. Smith tries to center. Fowler clears to the line. Not out. Marner recovers. Dorofeev, he can fire it. They give room in the slot. Shoots it right on. And Binnington saw it come and makes the save.
For Dorofeev, too. He is a sniper, boy. He has got a shot, and he is having a breakout season. What I love about that chance there, he gets the shot off. You can see the way the Blues are scrambling. Another defensive zone faceoff lost clean that has led to offense. But Dorofeev, he's going to shoot that puck right between the circles right there, but the way Binnington just kind of closes down on it right in the chest and doesn't allow a rebound. That's the key. Because, listen, you had two of his line mates right on top of that blue paint. Kolesar was just putting away, snipping away, looking for a second, third opportunity. Good save, good rebound control by number 50.
Again, if you are late to this game, Philip Broberg injured earlier in the game on a hit by Mark Stone. Upper body injury, he will not return. Tied 1-1, and here's Lazard with a shot. Save there. Now Kolesar and Tucker go back and forth.
Two very tough customers right there indeed.
Now Kolesar turns and says something to Binnington.
Bunch of theatrics. The Kolesar right in the blue paint. Got the linesman involved there. They're going to have a quick little discussion. Well, the shot from the outside by Lazan. This is a Vegas team that they're not afraid to get to the front. I actually love the way Tyler Tucker, he's going to step right into Kolesar. Watch the shot right here. Look at that punch right there. Right to the button. Kolesar's going to respond.
Just drop the gloves and go.
Not much going on right there. You're going to see Binnington coming at the very last second. He ends up taking his stick and shooting it. We might see Tyler Tucker go right there, you know?
It's just one of those things, and look, that's the NHL, but every now and then just drop them.
You know, it's one of those situations, too. A lot of times coaches will get green light, red lights. You know, remember, the Blues are already down to 5 defensemen. You get in a fight, you put yourself in the box for 5 minutes in a 1-1 big game. Maybe not the time, not the place, but you take note and you're looking for later.
And enjoy the days of Paul Stewart and Mick Magoo and those guys. Perry Fraser as referees. The Blues end up dumping it in offside and have to tag up. But if they saw something like that, they'd say, okay, guys, next time, we're just going to step away and you're going to go. Some people would hear that and get all frustrated and say, you can't say that. Neighbors over the line. Thomas to Stenberg. Back to Neighbors into his skate with a pass. Couldn't quite get it to the stick. Kolesar the other way for Vegas with 25 to go. The Knights are going to dump it in a 1-1 first period. 12 shots on goal for Vegas. Only 4 shots on goal for the Blues here. The Shen's going to bring it in over the line. Fired it off the goalie. Kicked back by Snuggerud. And that one's knocked away with 5 to go. Cleared by Reinhart. Tucker will put it down. The period comes to
one. Zach Whitecloud and Braden Shen, they had discussions. They had discussions coming out of the Vegas defensive end. I think that Zach Whitecloud, he was the face of Braden Shen right there. I don't think maybe they liked the fight earlier. I can see Vegas maybe thinking it wasn't all that dirty of a hit. So again, this game is far from over, and you know, Kurt, we're going to talk to the cat here in a couple minutes. But here's that chance. On the intermission report coming up. This Cole.
Blues scored first on a goal by Robert Thomas. His 11th of the year. Broberg and Parayko assisting. White. An unassisted goal ties it up. Both teams the beneficiary of some fortunate bounce.
But he doesn't care. I go back to the conversation I had with him this morning about the Jimmy Snuggerud hit. He said, I didn't care if it was dirty. I didn't care if it was clean. Jimmy Snuggerud was down. I answered the bell. Same thing applies here for Philip Broberg, and that's why he is our BJC difference maker.
Well, whatever the conversation was prior to the intermission with
Braden
Shenizak Whitecloud had another conversation as they came out. Relationship really just continuing. There's a long list of fantastic captains that have worn that seat for the St. Louis Blues. Fowler on the near wing, and a puck sent in as the Blues open up period number 2. Kairu's got the line. Right off the post with the first shot of the period. And Hurdle will clear it out.
That's what you love to see for Jordan Kyrou, the assertiveness, comes over the blue line, uses the defender as a screen, and just whoosh, just chucks it right at the Kings right there. This Cole Lazard and Jake Neighbors once again. Look at the referee right there. He's like, why do you got to do that, man? Why do you got to do that? You're going to see Trevor Hansen talking to Jake, and Jake said, hey, I don't like him stopping on my crease. That's the old school, and Jake Neighbors. You saw Cole Lazard and Tucker got mixed up. Even Bennington got involved there. But here's that chance right off the hop. Look how he just kind of slithers right through 3 defenders, kind of puts his body in a great position, and then that hard release right off the mark.
Here early in the second period, Knights win the draw. Deflected shot low, wide of the net. Barbashev on it, swept away by Fowler. Still clear to Shen at center. Over the full logo, and the Blues can't enter clean. Which David has to wait for Braden to tag up, goes rink wide to Shen. And he'll come it in, and then avoids a check from Lazan. Off Butch Davidge. Brown. Shen at the line, backhands it in again. Snuggerud reaches in to get a stick with it. He's kind of got a slimy way to get that puck back. Now, does a decent amount. Oh boy, that was close. Big stick by Tucker that prevented a potential breakaway pass to Eichel. Centering pass, stalled and broken up by the Blues. And that's Butch Davidge clearing for St. Louis. Minute 20 into the second period. Well, a critical second period underway here for the Blues. Eichel centers and they score.
This is going to be Jack Eichel's goal. It could have gotten off of the Blues defender. But keep an eye on number 9. He's going to throw this at the net on a Bobrino RoboCam. Right across the blue paint. Smith is there, but look at the point right at Eichel. We'll see it. This one maybe just sneaks in underneath Bennington. You know what? Goes off of the stick of Colton Parayko, who's trying to tie up Smith. It goes right off the backhand of the blade of Big 55. And Eichel is off the board. The curves. You got to give it to Riley Smith. You go to the net, good things are going to happen. That's been the theme all night. We've said it since the Thomas fortunate goal off the hop. And then Eichel gets the go-ahead goal here early in the second. In the second period, woes continue.
Well, the Blues trail for the first time here in the game. 2 out of 3 games on this trip, they've scored first and early. Did it in Chicago, they did it here. And Stenberg with a slapper to the net. Saved by Schmidt. They create a 2-on-1. Robina was there, but it's broken up by Mayu. And somehow the Knights get bounce around the pocket to get it back. That's the Robina. This air pass to the near wing. It goes all the way down the ice.
Well, I see you got Mayu out there with Tucker. Falk, again, guys that necessarily don't play together, and this is what we're going to see the rest of the game without Philip Broberg. And you saw that play in the defensive zone. It seemed like it should have been a very clean exit, and it got a little bit stalled, and it turns it over for a big chance.
Broberg injured, minute 30 into the first period. Not returning. But Rick
14 on the season.
Number 9. Here's Jack Eichel's goal. Looking at front check there by Seth Bush, got away with it. Broken up by Fowler out of the corner to the near wing. Parayko. Up the boards. Out it goes. Bouncing puck to the Vegas defense. White Cloud on it. 3 minutes gone in the second. Sissons breaks it in. Down into the corner. They jam it into the middle. Kolesar the forehand. The shot off a blue stick high and wide. That's sent by Theodore. A big get back in the lineup here for the Vegas Golden Knights. Long outlet pass from Butch Davidge. Deflected in. Jake Theodore was out for the last 11 games for Vegas. They missed him. Big center Blues. Snuggerud. 2-3 swats at it. Schmidt denies them all.
All set up from the forecheck of Pablo Butch Davidge on his toes. Makes contact, creates a separation, turnover, and Jimmy Snuggerud on top of the blue paint. 1, 2, 3 whacks at it. I think he got there first. How about Bucci there? You're going to see the turnover that he creates. He goes right to the front. Look at the feet. Look at the stick. Look at the body. He uses it as leverage. 1, 2, 3. Chance quarters. You got to mark that at least for 2 or 3 again right there.
According to the stat sheet, those will be his first attempts of the hockey game. Center ice draw, won by Thomas. Blues dump it in, it comes to Neighbors on the near wing. White Cloud played it far corner. Kyrou has not scored a goal since returning to the lineup.
Big hit there by Jake on Dorothea there. Dorothea didn't like to keep a cross check right after.
Going all the way down. Schmidt put it into the corner, and that puck sent up to the blue line. Neighbors held it in, but now cleared out. Again, Jake got a piece of it. Thomas off Neighbors. Thomas lost an edge. They dump it in. Blues trying to make the quick change. They got to go in a hurry. It's a 3-on-2 the other way. Dorothea grabs it in. Shoots wide. Man, he had Riley Smith wide open.
Curved way too slow on that change. Not sure what happened there.
Smeckerud in. Firing it wide of the goal. And it's ricocheted out. D quickly on. Knights into the zone. Sissons was offside. 4:45 gone in the second.
Gotta keep an eye on Robert. I'm not sure if he's tired after a long shift. He looks like he's laboring something. Now remember, he got hurt in that Colorado game late. It was a low body injury. He ended up finishing the game, but see how slow that transition. Now look at the captain working back, and he stops in the house, and he takes away that pass to Riley Smith. And you go back to Thomas. He got hurt in the Colorado game. Not to mention, there was a few games ago last night. He got upended there after an ugly hit where his left side of his cheek, his face took the brunt of all the weight coming down on the ice. He missed a little bit of time, but he has been battling hard through a bunch of different injuries. He's going to stay on the bench for now.
Theodore at center. They deflected to the St. Louis line. Parayko with an assist to the game. Gets it up the far wing to Snuggerud. It passes on, and they reverse it to the far wing. Reinhardt lifts it up and out of the zone. That one did not hit the big video board hanging above center ice, but it was close. Now the puck to Bowman onto the far side with Czar with a shot and a blocker save. Bennington. Back to the point again. Another shot was on. Broken play. Puck trickled wide.
And that Reinhardt twice right on top of Jordan Bennington. He's been a pest.
Reinhardt back in the lineup with Brandon Saad out with an injury. Knights go to center. Parayko took it away. Zaborski dumps it in. It's a youthful line here with Zaborski, Berggren, and Stenberg. Blues can use a little pop from them from an offensive standpoint. Eichel goes in. All the way behind the net. Go low to high again. Pretty standard play for Vegas here, trying to break up the Blues man on man as a shot goes wide. Braden Shen talked about that, Joe, in your interview with him.
Yes, he sure did. Got big responsibility here for Dvorsky on this top line. You're going to get moments like this late, especially in the second period.
Dvorsky dumps it in.
Good hit there by Berggren on the forecheck.
Van Hutton down. Michael saucers it. Stone brings it in. Played at the line, Dory. That's Hanifin. Played over 30 minutes in their last game against Columbus. Mayu and Kolasar run into one another. Now Barbashev, far side. Michael, Stenberg on him. Michael gets the line. A saucer near wing. Puck goes down into the corner. All the penalties of the game so far. The fighting major between Shen and Stone.
Boy, Blues need to clear it, and they need it now.
Kolasar leaves it out in cycles. Hanifin to Eichel, straight away. Eichel down low, firing it wide of the goal. Back over to Hanifin.
Look at the Blues strength, they're exhausted.
Now to Eichel. Back to Hanifin. Shot on. Bennington glove save. On a battle with Kolasar and Fowler right in front of the net.
That is such an important save. The way he comes out, he grabs it with that glove, gets the whistle. They need some air. Curbs.
Yo.
We got a special girl back in St. Louis who just turned 21.
Oh, look at that.
How about that photo, right? Who is that?
Oh, Joe, that's awesome. I didn't know you were doing there. It's Gracie right there in the middle.
That's right.
Standing next to her mom, Christy, my sister Becky, to Gracie's right. That's pretty awesome. Thank you, Joe.
They're at a bar there in St. Louis. They're watching the game. And I know that there's a lot of perks in this job. Herb, you and I talk about it a lot, but we do miss some pretty
we do.
important moments, especially for our children. And I know you would do just about anything to be there. And they were very methodical. They didn't want to send any photos to you. I said, don't send them anything. We're going to surprise them.
I'm wondering how come I'm not getting my normal update so I can pretend I'm there.
So, Gracie, enjoy your first beer. Happy 21st birthday. I'm looking forward to celebrating with you and your dad in Nashville here in a couple weeks. Go get them, kiddo.
Happy birthday, Gracie. I love you so much. Thank you, Joe. Awesome night back there. Family and friends.
A big old family there, Kurt.
Yeah, it's a big one. I love the way they hang out with their cousins like the brothers and sisters. You know this, Joe. You and I have talked a lot about this over the last 8 years, but there is nothing better than family and more important, is it?
Oh, man.
So we have your mom sitting right in between us.
Sure do.
Yeah.
Mary Ann's here.
I might just give her the headset and go take a break for the next 10 minutes.
What do you think, Bobby? You can do that? Yeah, she's nodding her head. Well, it's in the blood. You know, people think this is a skill. It's in me.
They patch up the ice here. He sticks into St. Louis and a Blues tradition, a proud part of every sweater. Stiefel is investing in excellence across the nation. Stiefel, where success meets success. Very kind of you, Joe. They're surprised with that. Thank you.
Team effort.
Julie, love it.
Trophy, they helped me out along the way. Did they phone you when they said we were coming back with the goal?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Trophy was a little... He's not a great liar. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I want to play with Trophy at a poker table. Knights shoot it on, and the puck over to Oscar Sundqvist. 2-1. Vegas taking a lead. 1:27 into the second period. What a move. Smith. Dorothea. Shot blocked off Fulk. Line of the goal. And you love the physical aspects of this game, and sometimes, though, you also love the skill that will get people out of their seats.
Yeah, that Riley Smith will do 2-2 with the blue line. That was something special right there, but it was ultimately the back check. Look at this. Sonny getting involved there. Here we go.
You kind of, after the whistle, still shovel the puck to the net. And that's an unwritten no-no. We can see the referee, Trevor Hansen, putting in at least one and saying, you're going to the box. And I think Vegas may end up with a power play on this.
Well, you know, to me, if Trevor Hansen takes only Sundqvist, to me, you don't have a good pulse of the game. You know, this is what's going to happen right here.
That won't shock me.
Yeah, look at that right there. Just a little thing you put in that. When the whistle blows, he puts in the net. That is a no-no, right? That's the code, right? Is there a rule on that? No. Is it a law? Absolutely not. But it is that kind of unwritten rule. Look at, I mean, Robert Thomas, like, come on, man. Like, let it go.
That's what rough feed.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, and you know what? The flip side is Korzak came back, swatted at Bennington's face. Robert Thomas is right now going to feed it to Trevor Hansen, who decided to get involved at the wrong time.
Yeah, see, Korzak, the whistle blows, and he kind of just flips it in the empty net. It's just a no-no. When the whistle blows, you stop the play, and especially you don't put it in the net. It's just a disrespectful thing. Sundqvist comes at him there a little bit. You know, listen, they give each other a little leather in the face. I mean, to me, it's been a penalty-free for the most part game. You got to let that go. But now the Blues have got to pick up the pieces right here. Jim Montgomery looking for an explanation. Like, come on.
Trevor Hansen is far away from the bench as he could possibly get.
Yeah, he's like,
And you say, come on over and talk to me, and Trevor lack of respect from the officials there.
Well, Hansen's in the Blues defensive zone. He's about 150 feet away from Jim Montgomery, and Jim just wants an explanation. You know, to me, it's just a nothing play.
There's a veteran referee, Chris Lee, that'll drift over to the bench and at least allow Jim Montgomery to get it off his chest.
What Jim Montgomery's doing is, you know, you can't take away the penalty. It is what it is. But what he's doing, he's setting the tone for the next ball.
Well, what are you going to do with, like, what Keegan Colasar has done throughout the game, or Tyler Tucker? It's a standard you can't uphold, and that's the problem with a play like that.
Well, with a veteran referee like Chris Lee, too, you can almost guarantee there's going to be a penalty come on Vegas here after he saw the replay of that. It was a bit of a softie, but right now the Blues got a big kill to keep this a 1-goal game.
bring it out on the power play. Blues need a big kill, and the penalty kill has struggled of late. First penalty kill of the game. Turtle to the corner. Eichel caught by Perico. Hurled out a Stone. Dorofiev over to Marner. 5 forwards on the ice for the Knights. Far wing, and a shot by Eichel wide of the net. Out it goes.
Yeah, keep an eye on Tomas Hertl. He is a big, heavy body, great hand-eye coordination. Right on top of the blue paint in front of Bennington. Great at taking away Bozak.
They jam it into the middle. Bennington the save, and a clear for Buchnevich.
Yeah, this unit's going to stay out for the most part. One exchange, but all the forwards are going to stay.
Two to 1 Vegas. We approach the midway point of the hockey game. 10:38 to go in the second. The Knights have the first power play of either team. Thomas scored 55 seconds in for the Blues, who only had 7 shots on goal here. Knights on the power play. Howden goes into the corner. They go far wing straight away. Theodore, Eichel, down low. Stone behind the net, centering. That one comes to Theodore. Takes a weird off the wall again. Straight to Eichel. He rims into Howden. 15 seconds to go on the kill for the Blues. Ball gets a stick in the road. The puck comes around the wing. Eichel off the wall with it. Long change for the Blues in the second period. Shot fired wide. Ricochets far point. Theodore there. Kept it in. It's stuck on the line. Sundqvist out of the box trying to get back into the play. And Golden Knights will change as they saucer rink wide. 5 on 5 now. Blues with a very good kill there as it's straight away. Theodore with a shot. Oh, off the post. And over to Sundqvist. He'll clear it out.
Yeah, that was tipped right in front by Colton Sissons. It's going to be tipped near side post and out hard.
Walker flying in with the check onto Theodore. Bowman far away. That's Barbashev. Tangle shoots, looking for a deflection. Didn't get it. Looks like Korzak in behind the net. Mayhew didn't get it off the ice to clear it. Second effort up to the line. Shen was able to get it out, and it swept to the Vegas blue line. No icing. You can hear the linesman communicating. Puck coming now to Fowler. They get it off the wall, and somehow Reinhardt got it over to the far wing. Colasar. Behind the net, Fowler trying to cut it back. Marner took it away. Shoots it right in front. Reinhardt alone. Deflected it wide. Snuggerud couldn't clear it off the wall. Gets a second chance. Lazan holds it in. And now Mayhew to Fowler. Ahead to Snuggerud. Now to Shen. Takes it at the line and throws it down along the wing. Not anticipated by his line mates. That one's coming out. Blues go the other way with it, and a late icing call from the far linesman, but an icing nonetheless, and there's 8:07 to go in the second.
Well, we mentioned that kill being so important. You got to keep this a 1-goal game. Look at this chance right off the rush. You're going to see Dorofiev coming right down McLaughlin, and Bennington makes the save. Look at him swimming around there. And then how about this? Colton Sissons right off the tip of the blade, off the near bar, and now Bennington, he's battling hard in this period.
He's faced 18 shots. Jaworski with a clean face-off win. Perico goes to get it out, and they do it center. Trying to chip it in, but it doesn't go much below the blue line, and the Knights get possession. Turtle in with a shot wide. And the puck ends up out of play. 7:48 to go in the second. Blues need 1. Down by 1. St. Louis on the money line right now. They're trailing in that one. We need a goal from Buchnevich. One more shot from Robert Thomas. So those odds are +854. Still got a chance in this one.
Yeah, it's just great to see Robert Thomas back on the ice. You know, a few shifts ago, he went down, took a weird edge, got clipped from the side. He's been kind of working through a couple lower body injuries over the last few weeks. Looking out there, just barking orders, taking leadership in the defensive zone on this face-off. He's a guy that this is just a different team when he's out of the lineup. You know, he missed a little bit of time last night in that Utah game. I don't think the Blues manufactured 1/10 of the net in about the 7-8 minutes when he was gone.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't get a shot on goal in that game, and it ended a streak of 135 straight games. Sorry, with a shot attempt. Didn't have a shot attempt last night. Thomas to the line. Fowler. Back to Thomas, but it bounced past him, and that'll give the Knights a chance to clear.
Yeah, it's a tough pass there from Cam Fowler. You know, it looks like Todd, look at him. Yeah, he's frustrated right there because he gets it on the half wall. And Cam knows it right there. And he says, sorry, man. I got you.
Let's pause for this quick message.
Robert Thomas, you're my favorite pro.
You know, I might be a hockey pro, but he's a pro too.
I'm the Auto Loan Pro, helping people finance their cars the right way.
AutoLoanPro.com.
That was going to be a line change. That's amazing. You have full possession, and you know, one pass just a little bit off really changes the whole dynamic of a shift.
Braco's going to skate it down in behind the Vegas. Trying to go short side, bounce back cool. Now Shen to Buchnevich. Bumped it just wide. Colasar in the corner. Goes back the other way. Braco there to help hold it in. Shen trying to move in on Theodore, who reverses it to the near side. Snuggerud on. Mayu kicks at it, needs some help, which Navich got there. Ridden around by the Knights as Howden's going to drop it off, and the Blues clear it again. Up to the slot. Snuggerud hold on wide.
God, that thing has some pepper on it. How did that one miss? If that one hit the bar, it would have cracked it.
Thomas dragging it around Howden. Sweeps it into the Knight zone, and then the Knights are going to get it out, and again another long change for the Blues. Gyro to the neutral zone. Thomas on the near side from Neighbors. Into the corner, checked by Eichel. Robert needs some help. Finds Kyrou. Going to Neighbors, and that pass gets blocked behind Jake.
If that pass gets through from Kyrou to Jake Neighbors on the back door, it's a 2-2 game. Nice one.
Barbashev trying to clear. Fowler holds it in. Kyrou right on. Rebound put by Neighbors, and a save. Schmidt.
Well, you're starting to see the offense generating. A few moments ago, they only had the 7 shots on goal. They just peppered them with 3 in a row. Look out, here they come. Well, they want to get back to Las Vegas. I tell you what, this fourth line, they've had a heck of a start to 2026. Leading off with Alexei Toropchenko, just signed a brand new extension. Nathan Walker bringing the physicality. There was a short-handed goal that set up Robert Thomas in the Montreal Canadiens game. Nathan Walker, great hand-eye coordination a couple games ago. And how about Oscar? You look at the numbers for that fourth line, 24 hits, 11 points in the last 4 games. You know, we turn to those guys for the physicality. Also, Toropchenko, keep in mind, had a fight last night. We turn to them for the physicality, for momentum, creating energy. So whenever they can chip in and find those points as well, boy, that's certainly going to give a boost to this team, and they can use them right now in their terms.
Yeah, because of the injuries, it's been hard for Jim Montgomery to really get that line going as that identity line. But then, when Frank Ruby was head coach of this team, from that championship season on, he talked about Oscar Sundqvist being the head of the snake. As a matter of fact, he told me the main change that he made to help the Blues win that first-round series in 19 against Winnipeg, he moved Oscar Sundqvist up halfway through that series from the 4th line to the 2nd line.
Yeah, he's
just created matchup problems for Winnipeg.
And it's just the predictability for Oscar. He's been doing it ever since he's been a St. Louis Blue when he came over from Pittsburgh. Just dependable and loyal. You know exactly what you're going to get every single time. Very rarely will he put himself or his teammates in a bad spot.
Cleared off the glass and on the play. Face-off coming back in the blue zone. All right, another meets us Saturday night hockey night in St. Louis. We got the Blues against the Blue Jackets on January 31st. Join us for the last home game before the Olympic break. You can get your tickets at stlouisblues.com/tickets. Maybe by that game, potentially have a Dylan Holloway back. Well, we believe that's the jersey that man in that shot is wearing.
That would be something they could really use. If Nick Bukestad's on the trip, he's close.
Came on this trip to practice with the team. He's feeling better, and Blues end up icing the puck. And I'll tell you what, to me, the fascinating part about that is if you look down on the ice right now and you see this fourth line is when a guy like Nick Bukestad comes back, or Holloway comes back, and somebody like an Otto Stenberg force him to make a different lineup change.
I think Otto Stenberg stays in the lineup. I don't think you can take him out. I mean, right now, he's the only player on this roster on a plus, as far as the plus-minus goes, and that's just not a number. I mean, he plays good on his hockey curve on both ends of the ice, good 200 per game. He's smart. He makes everyone around him better. I mean, that's a situation for a young player, him and Dvorsky. They're going to force Jim Montgomery to make some decisions with some veteran players. Don't forget about Robbie Fabry. He took warm-ups here today. He's waiting to jump back in. And all good decisions.
Joseph?
Yeah, Matthew Joseph. But those are the decisions you want for a head coach. And if you're Jim Montgomery, you want Otto Stenberg to make your life miserable. You want him to play so well where you're going to keep him up at night as far as who I got to take out of the line.
Get out my way, AJ.
Jim and the St. Louis Blues bench.
You go back to the second period, how tough the period's been all season long. They've allowed the one goal. You almost get the sense that you don't mind this game going into the third only being 2-1 at this point.
You don't mind it. Sure, would love to see it tie 2-2 though. Marner's going to drop it off. Hutton's going to move it near wing. Korzak gets it out of the zone ahead. Marner. Riley Smith to Mitch Marner. What did they miss him in Toronto? Far wing getting hauled down on the check burger, and then he stays with it, dumps it in. Burger's done a pretty solid job of taking advantage of his second chance in the NHL.
Yeah, it's a great point. As we're talking about a lot of young players making Jim Montgomery's decisions tough in an upcoming future, but Bergman absolutely, I'm really surprised by his talent too.
Get it in. Dorofiev got there by Mayu. Dorofiev thought he had the inside track. Marner, what a play. Here way they go. Theodore shoots and scores.
Sure if he was going to be healthy enough to join. He's on the board. Watch Mitch Marner. This is why they miss him in Toronto. You're going to see Dorofiev button up. Look at this pass right here at the end of this shift. Look at that little backhand toss. Right through traffic. That's going to send a Theodore one shot. Holy shit. That go up, Tucker. I don't know if it got redirected, but it does go short side high. As Binnington drops down low, Theodore goes up. And that's what I was just talking about. If you're the Blues, you're wanting to get to that third period with just being a one-goal game. And unfortunately, now you're back to a two-goal game. Another two finds the back of your net in this second period. Another -2.
And only 10 shots on goal in the hockey game, being outshot 20-10.
This is where your legs and your lungs, they really get tested. Heading into the final period of a back-to-back good travel. It's not easy for these players.
No thrill and Broberg. Here's your 90 seconds into the game. On hit by Mark Stone. He's coming back. If Broberg ends up missing the game on Tuesday night because of that injury, he will be the first of the Blues' top 4 defensemen, Ringo, Broberg, Fowler, and Falk, to miss a game this season.
That's a great point. We were talking about that the other day. With all the injuries the Blues have had towards the right, it's been really the forwards.
At the line, the Blues chop it to the front of the net. In behind the goal, not a White Cloud. Joe, Jim Montgomery can talk about the habits. He can talk about getting to the tough areas, and that is critical parts of the game of hockey as the Knights go in offside. But you look at these top teams like Vegas battling for a division lead. You compare to where the Blues are, and the Blues have youthful skill that's still finding their way in the NHL. And then the flip side of that, just guys the ability to make consecutive plays.
See, Kurt, you said it in the first period. It's worth reiterating. I mean, let's just compare these two teams. Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner, Thomas Hertl. These are all top-line centers on different teams before they came to Vegas. I mean, it's a very well-built team. And it just really exposes one thing, the youth and how there's a lot of kids still here on this Blues team that are learning and growing.
Heights into the neutral zone. Barbashev. Thomas dumps it in. Before you tweet at me thinking we're making excuses and you can't handle us talking about reality, I can't help you. Fowler. Now to Neighbors. Neighbors to the red line. Gaborski spins along the wall. Put it down into the corner. Here's an example of that play. Gaborski nowhere to go, but no one anticipating it to the corner.
Wow, it's got enough support. The Blues having a rough time. A little bit slow in their changes here in the second as well.
Marner buttons up. Caught up in the skates. They have him out high. Knights get it down low. Borzak. Washington, that Stenberg moving it up ice. Gaborski fans trying to get it deep. 1:09 to go, second period. Blues -2 here in the second again. Bergeron's over the line. Gaborski trying to help fix it. They go to Stenberg far side. Like a big play. Bergeron gets a piece. Let's check back to Riley Smith, and it'll go to Marner drifting back.
Yeah, you can see the Blues there. The legs are starting to wear down here a little bit. This is a group that looks tired. You can see the back-to-back. You can see they're missing one of their top defenders. They got to get a little bit of a regroup here at this intermission. One last push of this road trip, and they're going to give themselves a chance.
Puck goes in over to the far side. Walk after it. Marner along the wing. Here's Snuggerud. Checked into, and it's coming out. White Cloud with a red line. They'll go to company. Spun off of Bennington, and it's moved into the neutral zone. Saucer to Shen. He's got the line near. Wind fired it on, and a save made by Schmidt. Join the Blues at FanDuel Sports Network for the annual American Red Cross Blues Blood Drive on Tuesday, January 20th. If you want to attempt to donate or receive a special edition t-shirt, to make an appointment, visit redcrossblood.org and enter the sponsored code BLUES. And it is okay to go give blood even if you bleed blue. I gotta know. Somebody else may end up with a blood transfusion. It can be here in Vegas, and your blood ends up finding its way to them, and they turn them into a Blues fan. And they can't figure out why. Knights are going to clear it out. 7 seconds to go. Pareko.
That'll take us to the end of the second period.
That's a different. Seeger Toyota. By Jack in the Box. And by the Mid-America Chevy dealers, Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area.
For the final period.
Third period coming up, and hopefully we see the second time this season the Blues enter the third period trailing and come from behind. It's a 3-1 deficit. Chris Kerber, Joe Vitale with you. Joe, when you look at the St. Louis Blues right now, they've got to get out of their own foot, but they've got guys looking forward to some things as well. How about this? 6 Olympians this year. Last time the NHL players played in the Olympics, Blues had 10.
Yeah, unbelievable. You got Jordan Bennington and Colton Franco from Canada. You know, you knew Hugh Suter and Dvorsky, but how about Philip Roper? I mean, to me, that was the one really big, nice surprise. And then Jack Eichel, of course, he's going to be representing Team USA. He is going to be a handful. There was the second goal of the game, his first of the game, which made it 2-1. He is just a player that is just so hard and so difficult to surround yourself around because the way he slows the game down, his edge work, always putting pucks in valuable areas. That one he takes, of course, a very nice bounce off of Colton Parayko's stick. And that's why he is our TF player profile. Could become one of the best American-born goal scorers. He's got a long way to go, Merms. Patrick Kane, of course, he just scored number 500. He is inching closer and closer to Mike Modano. That's going to be a tough record for even Patrick Kane. But Jack Eichel, you can see the numbers right there. He is well on his way without having big-time injuries in his early years in Buffalo. That's certainly been hurting there a little bit.
Yeah, and how about this one? Born in the USA for all you Springsteen fans. Modano 561. There's Big Walt 538. Just ahead of Jeremy Roenick. Went into the Hall of Fame. Joe Mullen, Patrick Kane.
You know what makes me upset about that graphic right there, Curves? You can take a guess.
The fact that there's a Red Wing jersey in it, or that Kane is in the Red Wing jersey.
I was thinking more that Keegan Chuck is not in the Hall of Fame yet.
I was going to get there too.
Oh, man, not good. Not good. He's the only eligible player on that list that is not in the Hall. Who may have the lightest? It doesn't look great, does it?
Yeah, the lights have not come back on yet. A lot of these buildings use that stadium-style lighting where the lights are aimed kind of at the ice, and man, can you tell when they don't come on. That actually looks, if you look down at the ice, as the Blues fans, and there are a ton of Blues fans out here. You walk from the hotel to the arena here, and stop and talking hockey, you can hear them cheering. It looks a little old school. When you see the shadows of the players, it looks like it's the 40s and the 50s, in the picture being taken.
I kind of don't mind it. I kind of don't mind. I think they're slowly starting to come around here a little bit. It is getting a little bit brighter. I think if they were to stay like this and they couldn't fix the problem, I think they'd play hockey. I mean, it's bright enough. But they're going to give it a couple more moments.
All right, well, how about this? The Blues Quaterno Club, presented by Classic Air Care. Get exclusive items delivered to your door every 3 months. The winter box is on sale now. A Blues puffer jacket, Barrett Jackman Hall of Fame bobblehead, a set of car decals featuring the new branding. That is a nice puffer jacket. And it's not a puffin jacket. That jacket is not made of the previously almost endangered bird, the puffin. They call that a puffer jacket.
Favorite exhibit at the St. Louis Zoo.
I'm going there with you right now, Joe.
Well, all the entire Blues team, they're on the ice. They're all skating, trying to stay loose. Half of the Vegas team's twirling around. There's Bruce Cassidy trying to get next one. You see all the Blues players. Now, you cannot do that. Just a little nuanced rule that probably fans don't know about. When you come out for the second period, or you come out for the third period, the players allowed on the ice are the players that are starting that period. Everyone else has to stay on the bench.
Well, and that was a rule that was changed because they wanted to keep the ice as little cut up as possible at the beginning of a period. Hey, Joe, for those that are just joining us, maybe you're tuning in a late night back home. Maybe you're up partying on a Saturday night. Earlier in the first period, 90 seconds in, Philip Robert took this hit from Mark Stone. You can see him go down on the shoulder. You saw Braden Shen and Stone talking, played together in junior, and then that fight. That is how the game began for the Blues. Philip Robert has not returned. He will not return in this game.
And you go to Braden Shen, the comments by the captain, the lights are getting brighter. Yeah, here we go. We talked about the intermission cards, and he said we played junior together. These hockey players, it's just a different breed. They're old teammates, they're old friends, and here they are in front of thousands of people, just throwing nuts and just chucking nuts at each other, and that's hockey for you.
Well, there's your 4-game summary of Robert out from the 92nd mark on. Fowler actually facing the Blues with 1947, followed by Parayko and Falk. Tyler Tucker's going to get close to a career high tonight. Logan Fayou's going to see that increase as well.
20 minutes for Cam Fowler through 2 periods. That is a lot of hockey, especially for a veteran player. Over 1,000 games on a back-to-back. He's going to be sucking wins here.
23-10. Shen's going to run it. White Cloud, who just missed him on a hit. Fowler had 23-10 in the game last night in Utah. 19:37 to go. We're just underway. Blues down by 2. Need an early spark here in the third. It's this scenario, Joe, that Jim Montgomery has talked about wanting to see his team stick with the good habits.
Oh, absolutely. 2 good hits right off the hop there for the captain to start this period. He's trying to drag everyone into the fight. He needs some guys to join him.
Barbashev holds it in. Eichel to the far point, snaps it through. Lazan, a shot on and a save by Bennington.
But I tell you one thing the Blues can do, Curves, and we haven't seen a lot in this game, and it could kind of shift things here a little bit. They got to get moving. They got to get themselves into some valuable ice in the middle, especially in the offensive zone. We haven't seen them draw really any penalties in this game. You know, I know the power play has really had its issues, especially over the last few weeks. But sometimes a little 5-on-4 can really shift the momentum of the game, but they got to work to get to that area to really give the referees here and Chris Lee and Trevor Hansen an excuse to put Vegas in the box.
And it's a hard thing to do anyway against this Vegas team, who's one of the least penalized teams in the league. Barbashev on the draw. They win it. Eichel's pass off the mark. Schmidt, who again is looking for his 13th win of the season. Got it away. Eichel gets in behind the D. Shoots it. Bennington the save.
Holy cow, you're not going to believe this move. That was a thing of beauty right there for Jack Eichel on Fowler.
Eichel again behind the goal. Gets right up to the line, keeps it into Theodore. He'll dump it in behind the net. Bennington stops it. Stone. Stick check the Blues goaltender. The Blues get there to clear it out.
Almost took a redirection off of Fowler into his own net. That Stone picked the pocket of Bennington.
Stenberg with the forward pressure. Knights dump it in. They're offside.
Let's take another look at that Jack Eichel move where our Bomberito Robo can put the puck into space. You don't necessarily need to go around him. Put the puck through and jump. Watch here. Little puck right through underneath the stick, and then he just jumps right past Fowler. You know, Connor McDavid does this better than anyone. Look at that little shuffle, and then he just jumps. You know, the old school way, just missing on a couple of save, by the way, for Jordan Bennington to keep this a 3-1 game. You know, the old school is you got to skate around the defender. You know, Connor McDavid really changed the game when he started putting pucks underneath skates, underneath blades. You know, if you can find just a little touch, a little 2-foot touch to put it by the defender, then you jump past him. That's really becoming a new trend in the league, and Jack Eichel certainly does it right there, but just can't finish off a terrific left toe save there by Jordan Bennington, keeping his team in it.
Mayo on the near side. The puck dumped in. Over to the far wing they go. Blues with just the 1 goal here. Have given up 3. They're now minus 25 in the second period in the goal differential. Knights bring it in. Shoot it on. Bennington will make the save. Puck brought in by the Blues, and it goes down into the corner. You know, you get rid of the empty net goals against, and their goal differential in this third period is only at minus 3.
That's actually their best.
Over the far side, Ruffiel checked into Connor, big heavy checker. Now look at that, here's the even up. Ruffiel's going to grab Tucker. Tucker and Pareto's going to grab him. That might see Ruffiel and Tucker go. And Ruffiel, he's going to get the penalty here. After a good clean check by Tucker, Ruffiel's going to respond. And this is exactly what we were just talking about. They needed a spark. It's going to start from Tyler Tucker and an undisciplined play here by Dorofeev. The fans are reacting to a little shove from the back. I didn't think it was nearly violent enough for Tyler Tucker. I don't think this is going to be him going blocks. This is going to be 1 penalty for Dorofeev. He doesn't like it, but they had no choice but to do it that way. Based on the way that Sundqvist roughing was called, Joe, they had to call it that way. Yeah, you're going to see a little shove. Watch here. He's going to turn, a little pop. To me, again, not all that violent. Dorofeev doesn't like it. He's going to put him in a chokehold. Little headlock there for Tucker. And then you're going to see the hand for Chris Lee go up. And now the question becomes, can the Blues
take advantage with the one man.
Now the Blues power play sponsored by the Gateway Honda dealers who will donate $500
This
to
is
each
what
home.
paid for the
The
biggest
Make-A-Wish
night.
Foundation of Missouri, granting the wishes of critically ill children. That is your Honda Power of Dreams. All right, first power play in the game for the Blues. It's a big one. Show the Blues over their last 18 on the power play here. It can be a difference maker of making a one-goal game in Vegas.
Now watch the upper left of their monitor. Jimmy Slugger is on the left point right there. Watch for his one-timer. They've been using it over the last couple games.
Thomas to the corner. Kyrou behind the net. Gets it over to the far point to Fowler. Here's Thomas down the near way. Tries to drop it back to Fowler. Had to skate onto it. Thomas goes to the corner for Neighbors. Trying to come back to Thomas. That's a good stick and a clear by Hamilton. It's amazing how it doesn't matter what NHL city you're in. They all play the role of official supervisor. Kyrou. They all get the same result.
They gotta have thick skin those rubbers.
Yeah, they do. Thomas, the puck bounced. That was closed in
Sorry,
quickly.
AJ, I didn't really kick you.
Short-handed. Into the blue zone, broken up by Fowler. Kyrou to Thomas with Neighbors. They've got numbers. Jake scores!
Yes!
Neighbors. 3-2, Blues back within one.
Well, this is exactly what we were talking about, Chris Carver. 5-on-5. You had 10 shots on net through about 43 minutes of this game. You didn't have any life. You didn't have a rhythm. Draw a penalty. Get the man advantage and roll the dice. A turnover by Eichel on a 2-on-2. The Blues go the other way. Look at this pass right underneath the triangle stick of the defender. Take the tape to Jake Neighbors, and it's a scoop, a heads-up shoot right across the body of Schmidt, just underneath the club. And you hear Jake right there. He says, "Let's go, boys. Let's go."
Well, with that power play goal, the Gateway Honda dealers will donate $500 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. First power play goal of the season for Jake. He now jumps into a tie with Thomas and Falk and Suter with 11 power goals on the year. Blues come to the middle with it. Sundqvist to the line. Bayou back to Sundqvist. Off the inwards. Spotted to the far corner. There's Bowman.
Jim Montgomery going back with his fourth line right after goal, just like he did last night in Utah.
One tucked in. Walking in for the hit. Blues force the turnover. Sundqvist. Falk. Opening and he hit the post. Goes back to Perico.
Man, inches away from tying this game. Fourth line at it.
Now to Torachenko. Perico's shot. Knocked away in front. The puck grabbed and cleared out there by Sissons. Blues get it to Braden Shen.
I tell you, momentum, it's a funny thing in this sport, isn't it? Here come the Blues.
Go over the line. Hurdle's going to come back the other way with it. Dump it in. Comes off of Perico to the far side. Tucker up ice. Butchnevich. Snuggerud got it in. They had to battle for it. The Knights have possession and it's coming back out. It's a one-goal game and a close one in Vegas. Vegas in drag. Shot blocked off Tucker. Snuggerud will move it out. Shen will get it at center. Drop it back to Perico. Two of the forwards change. The Horsey coming on. With Stenberg, here they go. Butchnevich changes behind them. The Horsey behind the back drop pass. Barbashev clears it the other way. Brings it in, but Eichel is offside.
Well, the Blues tie it on the power play. And Jim Montgomery, this is now his new bread and butter. Goes right with the fourth line. A response right after a goal. You see the pass. Falk coming down the strong side. He's going to go right over the glove. Payne absolutely rattles that crossbar as Schmidt, the 6'5" Swiss goaltender, goes down. He goes high. Like I said, Kirk, you're inches away from tying this game. It's amazing what one goal can do. It's a completely different outlook now.
Moving it up ice. Kyrou sends it in. Looking checked into the corner there by Lazan. Stone clears it out. Vegas will dump it in. Hands off Barbashev. Bennington hands it off. That's a good stick handling by Falk. He did too, and he rims it around. That thing might slow down enough to not get over the line, and it does. Michael's got the line and rims it to the corner. Falk got it. Cut off as they center. Dvorsky. Well, smart play in the middle of the ice.
You know, it's smart because what does he do? He stops. He stops right there, exactly where he's supposed to stop. Or else Vegas has got a great chance on the back door.
Berggren. Kick. A play to Stenberg, then Parayko gets it in. Ripped around. Up into the air by Tornbeck. Dvorsky reaches for it. Marner into the middle. Parayko intercepts. Stick handles to the corner. Backhands in behind the net. It comes to the near side. Jonathan Berggren. Dropped it off there. Blues peeled the way out of the battle to go to the line change. That gives the puck. Vegas. Marner's going to bring it in. Go down low. Ball for it. Makes the quick play. Walker's down low. Can't clear. Shot deflected into the near corner. Walk off the wall. Not out. Toropchenko with the effort. Finds Sundqvist. They'll go through center. Grabbed the hold by White Cloud. The puck dumped up ice by Marner. 12:42 to go. We're in the third. Snuggerud going in. Boston. Shit. Gets stick check there. A good play by Reinhart to get it back.
Yeah, he tried to go to the backside there to Jimmy Snuggerud. He had his feet locked and loaded for that one-timer.
Here's Snuggerud moving in. Dumps it down low. Blues have made it close here. Trying to erase the Vegas lead. They were up by 2. Coming into the third, it's now 3-2. Courtesy of a power play goal from Jake Neighbors. Thomas and Kyrou assisting. Play in the middle of the ice. Snuggerud lost his stick. Which David's on to the puck. He'll leave it. Maeve's going to pick it up. Kyrou the neutral zone. Turtle took it back. Comes off the stick of Kyrou. Now Parayko. Neighbors drink wide to the tape of Tucker. Shoots it high and wide. Near wing. Hurdle runs into Parayko. The puck ends up out. Neighbors going all the way back to get it.
How about Tyler Tucker and Colton Parayko's deep pairing? Right in the third pairing.
Olasar with a big hit into the numbers on the back of Tucker. He's going to hold it in. Parayko taking Olasar to the line. Kyrou will force it out. Neighbors flips it in. Thomas the only one staying up for the Blues. Hannafin will put the puck over to White Cloud. Nice play in the neutral zone there by Stone to knock that thing down. Sundqvist back in. Sweeps it behind the net. Toropchenko knocked it loose. Sundqvist off of Fowler, and it's knocked away. Bennington. Quick touch over to Fowler. Taken back by Stone into the slot. Eichel and his shot off. Falk on a play.
Terrific stick right there by Justin Falk, making it happen on the defensive end. On the offensive end, Jake Neighbors. Got to see what they're doing. So Viva Las Vegas. The Blues have made it a game with the late Jake Neighbors goal. They got within 1 first. The old saying, what happens in Vegas, it stays in Vegas. But boy, these two teams, they have battled so hard since they have come into the league. But look at the number right there. 15 games, 9 have gone into overtime. They have all gone down to the wire now. Jim Montgomery talking it over with Trevor Hansen. He can't believe something, even Claude Giroux, getting involved right there.
And it's about, I believe, the line change. That fourth line is coming on.
Now, the rule is,
Now Steve Hodge feeds it to Trevor Hansen.
when you're on the road, you have to change it as soon as the referee's hand goes up, and there's no more changing for the visiting team. So maybe perhaps they thought that the St. Louis Blues made a change after the hand hand went up, because when the hand goes up, then it's the home team's side.
Michael took it away, shoots it on. Bennington will make the save.
Well, you know what here? If Jack Eichel scores that goal, that's the defensive matchup that Jim Montgomery wanted. And I guarantee you want to see 18 shades of red from that ball head of Jim Montgomery.
He's still going at it.
Yeah, well, he's fired up. And Jake Neighbors now is going to go off. We're going to put Otto Stenberg on with Robert Thomas and Captain Ray Chip.
Remember, it was Trevor Hansen, after deciding just to take Sundquist earlier in the game to the penalty box, wouldn't go anywhere near to Blues bench to have a conversation with Montgomery. It was the other official, Chris Lee, that did. The Blues bring it up nice. Montgomery, whole Blues bench coaching staff was fired up on whatever that sequence was. Over to the far side, Stone able to clear it out. 10 minutes to go here in Vegas. Blues need a goal. Cairo will backhand it in. Thomas will get after it. Goes rink right to Dorofeev. Good strip there by Fowler. Now to Cairo. Stops at the line and then throws it into where Whitecloud could play it. Jordan's going to get it back. Dig it down along the wing, tried to cut it into the middle, swept away by Whitecloud. Great work by Sundquist to retrieve it. Blues rimming around again, and Cairo gets to the bench, gasping for air.
Yeah, he's got to take his breath. You know, Curves, this is a one-goal game once again. This is where you need your goal scorers. This has got to become Jordan Cairo's time.
9 games without a goal for Jordan Cairo. He did get an assist on the power play goal. That was his second point in the 8 games since returning. Fault into the middle. Lost it trying to make the move around Hamilton, and Mitch Marner's going to have possession. Into the corner. Ball circles the net. Up the middle they go. Buchnevich trying to go to Snuggerud, and it's just too far. Schmidt played it away. Back to Snuggerud along the wing. To the point, Tucker. Ooh, that shot blocked down. Like no clear.
Right now, if you're Tucker, if you're any defenseman, throw everything and anything at the net.
Good battle by Tucker to get back. Takes a bit of a cross check and then avoids the slash there from Reinhardt.
Yeah, that's Dorofeev again. He didn't like, remember there was the hit earlier in the period where Tucker hit Dorofeev, and he remembers that he certainly gave Tucker another whack to the back of the game.
8 minutes to go in the third. Olasar is going to put it in. Great go after him, the 2 number 55. Turned over to Stenberg off the glass and out. Theodoro plants it up into the Blues half of the ice. Dalibor to Vorski. To the far away. Fowler's pass intercepted. And dumped right back in. The Knights tag up again.
Well, look at the neutral zone right now for this Vegas Golden Knights team. They got a 1-goal lead. Look, they're all just going to kind of play that trap style. Just kind of sit back.
Neighbors will bring it in. Hit the play to the corner. Thomas digs in. Jake will get it back. Bounces to the far wing. And Knights are able to chip it out as it comes to the near side for Stone. His Falk took it away. Good block by Barbashev. Kept it in against Falk. Fowler with a long pass. Into the skates of Neighbors. Got it up to the line, but Whitecloud is there. Down to 6:50 and counting.
You got a stick in that zone. You also got a blade. Look out.
Thomas strips it. Shoots for a stick, and that one deflected into the corner. Walker with Neighbors there. Neighbors will go to the bench and change. Knights will get it back behind the net.
Well, I'm really surprised more teams, when there's a stick in the defensive zone, they don't clear it. I mean, the stick is still right in the middle of the defensive zone for Vegas. They got to clear that away.
Michael with a shot. Blocked off Perico. Torachenko shoots it to the near wing. Walker's able to get it out. It's off the glove, and I guess Vegas will touch it first. Hutton dumps it in. 6:15 to go. Blues down 3-2. Thomas at 55 seconds in. Neighbors a power play goal. 3:33 in this period. Vegas with a goal from Marner, Eichel, and Theodore. Knights will clear it out, trying to lock this thing down. Now under 6 to go. Mayu dumps it in. Schneevich, Snuggerud, and Shen on the ice. They get it to the middle, and it's kicked away by Schmidt before Schneevich got there.
Yeah, and he almost was the benefactor of another awkward bounce there as the Vegas Golden Knights, they can't connect on that D-to-D. Bucci right there on top of the blue paint.
Knights clear to center. Tucker. Hard rim off Shen to center ice. Vegas tags up. Nice play there by Bowman. Over to Sissons. And a clearing attempt by the Blues ends up in the Vegas bench. 5:12 to go. We're in the third. Blues need a hero. They need a goal. Who gets it? Welcome back to Vegas. The Blues need a goal, down by 2. There's Jordan Kyrou. 30-plus goals each in the last 3 seasons. 67 or more points. 3 70-point seasons in the last 4 years. And Joe, you compare, now he was injured this year, right? No goal century, no goals in the last 9. They could use a snipe from that guy who, last year after 35 games, 100 shots on goal, 206 shot attempts. This year after 35, 86 shots on goal, 94. So the attempts of shots are down a little bit. But the difference is he had 14 goals and 28 points last year, 8 goals and 15 and 16 points right now this year.
Well, Jim Montgomery, he referenced not only Kyrou Curry, but all the top guys. It's just about having the moments great. The temp's perfect. You gotta dig in. You have to find a way, especially in big moments. I mean, I'm looking at a Utah game last night. Keller, Schmaltz on the board. Tonight, Jack Eichel on the board. This is what they're paid to do. They are paid to score goals. Jordan Kyrou is paid to produce. And these are the moments where he needs to step up.
2-point game for Robert Thomas. He's got a goal and an assist in this one. Knights win that draw, though, and they rim it around. Final 5:07. Kyrou on the ice with Thomas and Neighbors. Neighbors has a goal. Pretty awesome to get all 3 on this line. A tally here in this one. Comes to the wall. Thomas sends it out. Neighbors. Back to Fowler, now to Thomas. Drops it to Neighbors. To Thomas. Looking for Kyrou right there in the slot.
There you got him, Jimmy.
Thomas again to the line. Pareko. Whoa, the deflection for Neighbors. Broken up there on the near side. Was on. Theodore. First attempt to clear, no good. Second one gets it out from Stone.
Well,
You're at it there, Joe.
There'll be 2 opportunities you just can't connect on. And you just get the feeling this is going to be a very early pull here for Jim Montgomery with Jordan Bennington. Vegas. Look at the way they just sit back. The defender's back. It's been a lot of these easy exits. It may take that man advantage to really break the seal and get the equalizer in this game.
That one goes wide of the net. Icing call. And let's pause for this quick message.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer.
Whether it be Shen, Thomas, Dvorsky, Sundquist, everyone listens to Bush Davis. Everyone's got to be on the same page. Very early in hockey, you have set plays.
They win it. Oh, behind the net to Shen. Back to walk off the wall. Pitched to the middle of the ice. Snuggerud battling the Manafin as Mayu pitched. It's off the wall. Shen runs it through. Mayu trying to shield it from Hurdle, and Hurdle with a great play forces him out of the zone.
Yeah, that's what makes Tomas Hurdle a special power forward. He not only has the hand, the quick touch around the net, but he can play pretty physical brand of hockey.
Coming off of fault. Puck cleared by Vegas. 3:25 to go. They ice it, though, and that's going to give the Blues an offensive zone face-off. Well, the St. Louis Baseball Writers Dinner, that's next Sunday, January 18th. Tickets now available at stlouisbpwpa.com.
It's my way, AJ.
Always great sports. Year in, year out. Howden.
I love this shit right here. Dalibor Dvorsky between a couple of young wingers out there with 3 minutes to go to try to tie this game.
Little motto from 4-H. You learn by doing. Nice. Ribbon around. Clear it out. That one's not going to have enough juice to get there. Parayko faster than the puck. Picks it up at the goal line. Bergeron up the far way. Oh, he tried to go to himself. Marner picked it away, but then turns it over to Torachenko. Shoots it on. Glove save. Schmidt.
Torachenko, who's had the hot stick lately, trying to get his team back in it.
Who's coming?
We welcome you back to Las Vegas. There's Steve Ott, that last TV timeout. He's got the numbers, he's got the schemes, he's got the plays. He's got Bennington on the bench. And this is where communication is imperative. Everyone has got to be on the same page, especially with offensive zone face-off. Like I was just mentioning moments ago, there's not that time for the sport of hockey where you can get organized on a set play. You set breakouts and there's face-off. Outside of that, it's a very fluid game. But if you can figure out a way to get on the same page and win face-offs clean, you can get scoring chances right off the hop.
2:33 to go. Knights battle for the puck along the wall. Shed trying to get there. Vegas is going to clear it. Look at this.
Oh no, it's over.